Just the mere mention of serial killers sends shivers down our spines. But have you ever heard about an individual who is said to be the worst of them all? Well, today we will tell you about the man who has earned this title. And today, let's find out who is the worst serial killer of all time. In the annals of criminal history, few names strike fear and revulsion quite like Luis Garavito, also known as the Beast. Born on April 26, 1949, in the small town of Piedemonte, Colombia, Garavito's story is a chilling tale of sadism and depravity. His heinous crimes, primarily targeting vulnerable children, have rightfully earned him a reputation as one of the most evil serial killers of all time. As we delve into the dark reality of his life, it's important to note that some of these details might be too disturbing for some viewers. Viewer discretion is advised. His journey into the abyss of criminality began at a young age when he was just 9 years old. He exhibited signs of extreme sadism towards animals, which foreshadowed the horrors he would later inflict on humans. By the time Garavito hit his teenage years, he was already known as a real troublemaker. He loved picking on younger kids and was always getting into petty. His descent into darkness was swift and brutal. He began his killing spree in the early 1970s, targeting children as young as 7 years old. Garavito lured his unsuspecting victims using a variety of tactics, often posing as a street sweeper or a shoe salesman. Once his prey was within reach, he would drug them, sometimes using a handkerchief to cover their mouths and noses, ensuring their silence. The young boys were then taken to secluded areas where they were subjected to horrific abuse and ultimately strangled to death. What makes Garavito's crimes particularly heinous is the level of torture and mutilation he inflicted on his victims. He was known to cut off the genitals of his young victims, a horrifying detail that adds a layer of depravity to his already monstrous acts. In a sick and twisted manner, Garavito even developed a ritual around his killings, often choosing locations near busy streets or public transportation routes, seemingly deriving pleasure from the irony of his heinous acts. Going unnoticed amid the hustle and bustle of everyday life, the sheer callousness of his actions is a testament to his twisted psyche, highlighting the depths of depravity to which a human being can sink. As the body count mounted, so did the need for speed. Garavito's crimes spanned multiple regions in Colombia, including Bogotá, Medellín, and Pereira. In each location, he would methodically target young boys, perpetuating a cycle of fear and despair that left communities on edge. The Colombian authorities were quick to respond, launching a massive manhunt to capture the elusive killer. Yet despite the efforts of law enforcement, Garavito continued his reign of terror, evading capture for years. This prolonged period of elusiveness only added to the enigma and notoriety of the case. However, the tables turned in 1999 when Garavito was finally caught in possession of a large amount of cash and several stolen items. When questioned by the police, he broke down and confessed to a staggering 300 murders. This revelation sent shockwaves throughout the country and indeed the world, as the full extent of Garavito's brutality began to unravel. Facing a multitude of charges, Garavito was tried and convicted in 2001. The evidence against him was overwhelming, and he was sentenced to more than 1,800 years in prison. This lengthy sentence, while a formal declaration of justice, did little to alleviate the pain and suffering endured by the families of his victims. Today, Garavito remains incarcerated in a Colombian prison, his name synonymous with evil and dread. The case of the Beast serves as a grim reminder of the capacity for evil that exists in our world and the lengths to which a deranged mind can go. It also highlights the bravery of the investigators and communities who worked tirelessly to bring the monster to justice.